Jake Asman with you right here, 98.7 ESPN New York. It is fight week here in the tri-state area, UFC 302. And joining us right now is one of the headliners of the big fight Saturday night at the Prudential Center, Dustin Poirier. The Diamond joins the show. Dustin, really appreciate your time, my man. Thanks so much for coming on.
No problem, bro. Thanks for having me.
So obviously, I mean, when it comes to having a chance to win the belt, you are well experienced in what it takes to get it done. But you're fighting a guy in Islam Makhachev, who's one of the best out there. I mean, this is a fight that so many fight fans are excited about. How do you feel just a couple days, before one of the biggest fights the UFC's put on in quite some time?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to perform. Excited for the opportunity to get in front of the fans and be crowned the undisputed world champion. It's all good feelings and good momentum going into this fight week.
Now, I saw you said that your daughter is going to be sitting front row for the first time watching this fight. Does it add some excitement to it, knowing she's getting a chance to see you in person so close?
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, though. I can separate those things, but I'm excited for her to witness the audience and see what her dad really does.
What's this camp been like for you? What are some of the challenges that a guy like Islam presents as you're trying to get ready for him?
Obviously, his wrestling, his top game, his clinch game. He's very dangerous. I mean, he's number one pound for pound fighter in the world, undisputed world champion. He poses a lot of threats and a lot of challenging things for me to deal with. But I think his wrestling and top position grappling wise would be some of his best things he does.
UFC star Dustin Poirier with us here. Once again, UFC 302, Islam Makhachev is Dustin Poirier. It's Saturday, June 1st, pay-per-view later this week at the Prudential Center. So a lot of New Yorkers and New Jerseyans are going to be in the building watching this one. Of course, when it comes to Islam, he's being trained by someone you know very well as well in Khabib. Is there anything you could take away from your fight with Khabib a couple of years ago that maybe could help you getting ready for this fight with Islam?
Yeah, just got to keep it a fight, not turn it into a grappling match. Wrestling match, stay off the fence, keep my feet moving, use my full mixed martial arts arsenal. Don't go in there just trying to box. I need to be ready for everything, but the main thing is to keep this a fight.
What's the best way to try and do that? Because obviously Islam's going to try and attack you where you're thinking you got him. He's going to try and make adjustments as well. How do you kind of keep it a fight, as you're saying?
Keep it a scramble. Don't settle into positions against the fence. Don't play the clinch game with him. Obviously, down block, get away from his takedowns, keep him on the end of my punches. The list goes on and on.
How are you working on like the guillotine against someone with a ground game like Islam? Like, is there a way to not kind of like overly rely on it, especially as the fight kind of goes on, Dustin?
Nah, man. Of course, I'm gonna throw him in a guillotine. It's just I need to be careful with it, not give up position. Give up free takedowns and put myself in bad positions going for the choke. We'll see what opportunities arise, when he's shooting in and where his head placement and everything is. But I'm going to beat this guy. You've
been obviously the former, interim lightweight champion. What would it mean to you to actually just be, the undisputed lightweight champion of the division?
I mean, it's everything for me. That's the last thing I have to do in this sport. I've done everything else you can do in the sport of mixed martial arts. I've fought the who's who of my era, fought all the champions in the last 10 years, beat a lot of them. It's just something I really want to cement my legacy in the sport.
Have you thought about this potentially being maybe your last chance at a title fight?
Yeah, I think it most likely is.
And does that do anything extra for you? Does that inspire you more going in, or does anything change just because you've done this before and you have that experience?
It just puts things in perspective for me. I need to appreciate every second of fight week, appreciate the weight cut, the media, the whole process of leading up to fight night. And I need to be in the moment, locked in mentally, ready to go 25 hard minutes Saturday, June 1st. And I can get this done.
Is the expectation that it is going to go the full 25 minutes for you?
No, I think I'm going to knock him out. But mentally being prepared to go 25, anything less is a gift.
Dustin Poirier joining us here. Jake Asman on 98.7 ESPN New York right here on Memorial Day. So let me ask you this. I mean, in your career, you've obviously fought some of the best to ever do it. But I really feel like for maybe some of the more casual fight fans or just casual sports fans, your rivalry with Conor McGregor really puts you on the map. As you kind of go through your career, Dustin, where does that kind of rank amongst some of your greatest accomplishments, taking down Conor McGregor not once, but twice in the 3 fights you had with him?
Oh, it's definitely up there, especially how long, I first fought him in 2014 and he beat me. To have to wait 7 years, of fighting contenders and fighting the best guys in the world to get another opportunity to right that ship. He had 7 years of poking at me and talking about him beating me to finally get him back on the biggest stage in a pay-per-view main event. It felt good, man. Flying back home from Abu Dhabi in 2021 was a great flight.
And then you got him again. I mean, later that year. So you got him not once, but twice after that.
Yeah, it felt so nice. I did it twice.
Dustin Poirier joining us here. I know you had previously said that you think the ship has sailed on a potential fourth fight with Conor, but I'm just curious, if you're to win on Saturday, Dustin, and obviously Conor is able to take down Chandler, would that change anything at all? Would you have any interest in a fourth fight with Conor?
It could, if the stars align, but it just feels like, even talking about it, after going through the rivalry with him for so many years and fighting him back to back in 21, as I prepare to get ready for a fight week for the undisputed belt, and he's fighting a guy whose last fight I choked him out. It's like it just feels so far removed, and so much things have to happen before then. So I've just focused on right now, and that's Islam Makhachev.
If you're able to win this fight, what comes next? I mean, you talked about it, how this might be your last chance, but how many more years do you see yourself potentially being an active fighter in the promotion?
I'm not 100% sure, but not long. Not long.
So there's no exact number. It's just about kind of like how your body feels after you go through something like this.
Yeah, I've been fighting a long time. I have 50 fights. How my body and mind feels. I'm 35 years old. I'm a father, a husband, a business owner. I have a lot of other hats I wear. And since I was 17 years old, my whole adult life, I've been training in the gym every day and fighting the best guys in the world since I was young. I grew up in this sport. So really, I just want to get that title, man, and say that I did it, that I was the best in the world, undisputed world champion, and lock in my legacy. That's what I've always wanted.
UFC 302, Saturday, June 1st, later this week at the Prudential Center. It's going to be a heck of a fight, heck of a card as well. I'm always curious about this when it comes to actually talking to a fighter, Dustin. As you're getting ready to go out there and you're the last fight of the night, it's the East Coast, so it's going to be very late. Do you get a chance to watch any of the other fights beforehand? Like, what actually goes on besides mentally preparing yourself to go out there? I'm sure you're talking to your coaches and trainers, but can you kind of walk us through what's actually happening as you're sitting around waiting to go out there for the ring walk before the big fight?
Staying loose, breaking a light sweat, stretching, jamming James Brown, getting in the groove, hitting mitts with my boxing coach. Yeah, there's a TV playing the live fights because we don't have an exact call time, or it depends how fast or how slow the fights go before me. So I just know the bout order. So when I see what fight's up, I have an idea. If all these fights go decision, I could be up in 45 minutes. I could be up in an hour. So I always just try to prepare maybe 30 minutes before I could walk out to where I'm ready to go if a fight ends early.
So are you someone who prefer them to all kind of finish quick so you get out there right away, or do you want like ample time to get ready? Like, walk us through your emotions as you're watching the card that you're a part of.
As long as I warm up at the right time, get my hands wrapped early, and get in the motion and get moving early, it doesn't matter. I'd rather them go quick so I'm not fighting at 1 a.m. East Coast time when we do a pay-per-view on this side of the country, man. I could be fighting until 1:30 a.m. That's late. When I'm doing all my training, most of the days, it's like midday,
I can tell you, as someone who's, born and raised in the New York area, we prefer the fights to go quick too, because the late night fights, I mean, sometimes it's hard to make it till the end. I'm jealous of the West Coast when, the fight card's starting at 7 p.m. local time. It's over by 10:30, 11. You still have the whole rest of your night.
Yeah. Or even earlier, man. Like back in the day when I was fighting on prelims and stuff, we'd be fighting at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You fight, leave the arena, you still have a full day to do whatever.
That's right. Dustin Poirier with us here. So you brought up your businesses. I have to ask you about your hot sauce line. When did you realize this was something you wanted to do? And could you imagine that your hot sauce line would be as successful as it's been? I mean, the Louisiana style hot sauce I've had a couple times, and it's excellent. So I just want the audience in the New York area to know about it, because I lived in Houston for 6 years, and it's very popular, not just in, Cajun country, but in Houston, Texas as well.
I knew it could be big. I knew, living in Louisiana, we put hot sauce on everything. And this idea sparked up around the time of COVID in 2020 when I was stuck in the house, started putting things together, trying different recipes, got hooked up with a great hot sauce team. And actually Heatness is out of Williamsburg in New York, my hot sauce distribution and a partner in the company. So I'm up in Williamsburg a lot. I'm glad it all came together and people received it the way they did. And I love seeing people post about it and talk about it. You know, I'm going to keep pushing it for sure.
And if you win on Saturday night, are you going to be grabbing some hot sauce and putting that on whatever you're eating first meal?
Oh, bro, you know it. You know it. I got to get some pizza and I'm going to cover it with the hot sauce.
That's tremendous. Well, Dustin, I think I speak for basically every fight fan out there. We've loved watching your career. Can't wait to watch this Saturday night against Islam. It's going to be an incredible fight, and we wish you the best of luck, my man.
Thank you, bro.